Welcome to a new episode of Indie Talks, a concept in which I host action movie performers, martial artists, a concept in which movie makers can share their ideas, their experiences, their knowledge. Also, a home of screen performers, fight choreographers, fight coordinators, or anyone related to movie making to share their ideas, passion, and film culture. Today's guest is a Croatian-British martial art expert and instructor. He's an actor, screen performer, stuntman, fight choreographer. He's well known for his work in Dead or Alive, Undisputed 2, Man of Tai Chi, Street Fighter, Resurrection, and many more. I welcome Mr. Silvio Simac. Welcome, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your warm welcome.
It's a great honor, of course. I have been following you for like years since Undisputed 2. That was the first time I have seen like 2006, and since then, yeah, I have been following your work besides Scott Adkins because you both had a lot of work together. You started together, yeah.
Yes, we have. We became friends on the very first film I did. I became very close friends with Scott Adkins. We socialized for many years afterwards. We trained together. We, in fact, lived very close to one another. And naturally, we pulled each other on 5 different productions. We did 5 films and 2 TV shows together. Then we did lots of live appearances as well.
Yeah, that's a long life career, of course, together. And since you both, I think, lived in London, in England.
Correct. He lived in London for a while. Scott lived in London for maybe 7-8 years. Then he went back to Birmingham. Is 2 hours drive from London. Yeah. That's where he lives now.
Okay. Yeah, that's really, it's really cool, brother. Okay, I'll take you to the very beginning. Where are you from originally? I know you're a half Croatian.
I am indeed. I was born in a very small country. It's merely 4 million population in the middle of Adriatic Sea. So at the age of 12, I came to UK. So yes, I'm dual national Croatian and British.
Yeah, that's really cool. And how can you describe your childhood time in Croatia before you arrived to UK?
I can probably summarize it with one word: freedom. I had so much freedom, and my childhood was wonderful. I grew up with beautiful family support and love. But I had freedom to go outside and play outside with my friends all the time. I find children nowadays very much enclosed and imprisoned at home, playing video games. Yeah. And as much as technologically kids have got a lot more than kids had 20, 30 years ago, they don't have the freedom. They don't have the freedom that we had before. So my childhood was wonderful. I would spend hours and hours and pretty much all day outside playing with my friends. But one thing which stands out is I was very good at sports, especially running, athletics, gymnastics. And my PE teacher called my father in at a very early age and said, "Your son is very gifted in sports. Maybe you should give him further attention when it comes to sports." So this is how I started to discover my physical attributes in sports.
And I know you have a Taekwondo background. Is that true?
It's very true, yes. As a child growing up in 1970s, I was inspired by Bruce Lee, who was very impressive to a child and to an adult. So when I came to UK, within the first year, I was very badly attacked, or my brother was attacked and beaten up. So I wanted to do something, do martial arts to protect myself if it should ever happen in future. So this is when my journey started off in Taekwondo. Taekwondo was my first discipline that I practiced. Belts changed color very quickly. Progress was very swift. When I became a black belt in Taekwondo, I started to explore other martial arts from kickboxing, Taekwondo, combat self-defense, karate. Nowadays, I hold black belts in 6 different disciplines, which I have practiced over the years. But Taekwondo was my nucleus.
Yeah, that's really important. I think the art of kicking is it's really basic for anyone who likes to perform well in martial arts, on screen or in the competition as well.
Well, funnily enough, Taekwondo was founded by Grandmaster General Choi Ong-hee, and Taekwondo originally was combination of Tai Kyong and Shotokan karate, and Tai Kyong was purely kicking. There were no hands, so naturally, because I practiced Taekwondo, it was very easy transition for me to go into the movies because kicks look very spectacular. They look very beautiful on screen. So Taekwondo was a natural progression for me to progress into movies after Taekwondo, because Taekwondo kicks look quite spectacular on the screen.
Yeah, it's beautiful, of course. Yeah, that's true. It's really attract the audience and give them.
For
They
sure.
remind them a lot of video games. You know, the new kicking styles that Tony Jaa and Scott Adkins come up in early 2000s.
Correct. Okay. They were very clever. They combined martial arts with gymnastics
Yeah, that's true.
to show people that human body can be pushed to another level. And every generation we saw people raising the bar and doing crazier things, wilder things, better things. Tony Jaa was the first person then after Scott Atkins to really come up with the spectacular martial arts tricks, which
Yeah,
were undoubtedly very, very impressive.
that's true, of course. And I know you own like 2 schools of martial arts in UK, in London.
Well, it's got 2 locations, but it's one school, same school, but 2
Ah,
locations.
okay. What disciplines do you teach there?
Very good question. I did not want to give it a new name or different name because too many people have done it so many times, and it's like diluting a perfectly good drink. If you dilute it, it loses the essence of what it is. So everything I teach now is a combination of everything I've done, from Taekwondo, kickboxing, karate, combat self-defense, Choi Kwang-do, all the things that work. So it's a little bit like Jeet Kune Do. I used all the concepts and everything that works.
Yeah, right.
All the arts are striking, so there are no weapons. Everything is kicking and punching, no weapons at all.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's really interesting. Did you practice classic boxing?
Oh yes, I did. Actually. I'm going to visit a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, who was started off boxing as a kid. I think I was 17 or 18 years old. No, 17. I started doing boxing, which was a phenomenal supplement to my overall workout. Not just the skills, but the strength and stamina behind it really helped me along my competing years.
Ah, okay. Yeah. And who's your role model boxer?
Boxer. Undoubtedly, Mike Tyson. Mike
Ah,
Tyson
okay.
absolutely blew away the whole world. And I remember the days as a kid when Mike Tyson would come on to fight, the whole world would stop still and go to watch the fight. So undoubtedly Mike Tyson, although I've been in the ring with Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis,
Okay.
his manager was my manager. So
Okay.
I've had several occasions I met Lennox Lewis, but Lennox Lewis was good, but I can't compare him to Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is just another level boxer.
Yeah. He's on a new level, of course. He's so
Oh, for
aggressive,
sure,
so
yeah.
fast. His head work is so impressive.
But the way he utilizes his entire body to produce maximum power is
Yeah.
very impressive. He uses very much scientific methods to make boxing more effective, and I love that.
And a lot of people think the opposite. They think only Michael Tyson is only aggressive, has no techniques, nothing else.
I would disagree with that. I actually studied biomechanics of martial arts. I managed to get hold of a book from Harvard University, Biomechanics of Boxing. It's a basically scientific study of movement. And that's one of dwells deeper into Mike Tyson's training methods. He does. Sequential movement starts from foot, hip, shoulder. And he's got perfect way of utilizing his body mass to produce maximum power. Aggression doesn't make power for it.
That's
It's
true.
scientific principle which make power, yeah.
Yeah, indeed, of course. And of course, I know a screen performer and martial artist should always maintain the best shape possible. What is your current training routine at this age? I mean, you're now...
Very good question. My training has changed a lot. For 15 years, I used to train twice a day, 5 days a week. So my routines were 3 to 3.5 hours every day for 15 years. From the age of 45, I cut it down to once a day. So I train still 5 days a week, once a day for 1 hour 20 to 1 hour 40 roughly. But I train every day. Sometimes I do one session, sometimes I do 2 sessions. But then I stretch in the evening. So my volume of the workout has reduced, but it's still very, very intense. And you're right in saying, looking after your health and body is fundamentally very, very, very important in all sports. Because if you look after your body, look after your health, you will make sure that you maintain your career for much longer.
That's true.
Otherwise, your career will be over much shorter. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He looks after his body really
That's
well.
true.
That's why he's managed to last. His lifespan in his career is much longer because of it.
That's true. Even martial artists, martial art actors like Scott Adkins, like yourself, Tony Jaa, they can still perform like crazy kicks in their mid-40s now.
But I remember the days. It's still even now. I go to bed sometimes very hungry. I'm very hungry. I practice intermittent fasting. So I'm very careful what I eat, when I eat. And a lot of the time I am hungry. But it's the discipline you have to implement.
Yeah,
If you're a martial artist, you can't afford to get to your 50s and 60s with big belly because you're compromising your health. You're compromising your performance. You're compromising everything. So for me, the discipline is number one thing. I have to be disciplined for my whole life. It's not just when you're young. Whole life I have to be disciplined.
That's true. It's the key, of course. And that's the message that we try to send to the new generations, of course, as you said before, who doesn't care a lot about practicing, working out, and of course with all the social media and the phones. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest drawbacks is the mobile phone. It serves a good purpose, but I think people abuse it a bit too much. Nowadays, you get
That's
people
true.
go to the gym and take their mobile phone with them, and they're working
That's
out.
true.
And
Yeah, it's a really terrible habit, of course. And
it's very important to know when to switch off. Switch off your social media.
Yeah, so it's all about discipline, of course, and how to organize the time.
Sure.
And of course, how did you get into movie business? The first time when you realized that you want to get into movie.
Before I got into movies, as I told you previously, I was competing extensively. I was going to every championships there was. In 1 year, I remember I did 12 tournaments in 1 year. So I was being sponsored by many companies. And when I started getting sponsorships, I did advertising and endorsements for them, for magazines, for television. So my first introduction to TV was through advertising for my sponsors and some of the companies I've been advertising for. So that was my first insight, whether it's as a teacher, as a mentor, as an idol. It's a very powerful position to be able to inspire and motivate someone. But my first film was with Scott Adkins. That was Black Mask 2.
Yeah.
I received a phone call from my agent, and he said, "I've got a role for you as a stuntman in Thailand to work on a big budget film with like Hawk in Hong Kong." Sorry, this was in Bangkok. But he lives
Bangkok, Thailand.
So this is the first time I met Scott. We spent 3 months in Thailand filming Black Mask 2, where he plays a lead villain, and I'm his sidekick. So this was the first production that I did. I fell in love with the whole industry because I got to work with people who are the best in their field, the absolute best, and inspired me, motivated me to do better, to strive to be better.
Okay, let's talk about stunt work. What was the most dangerous stunt you have ever performed?
One thing I always like to say is I'm not strictly a stuntman, but I do my own stunt.
Okay.
I've only done stunts for other people on one TV adverts and one film. I do stunts for myself. The most dangerous stunt probably was working in Mumbai, in India, with Sanjay Dutt. He's a big Bollywood star, and I have a fight scene against him on a rooftop, 11-story building. And this film is the exact copy of the Phone Booth with Colin Farrell. You remember the film?
Yes.
So
I know
India
it.
decided to make exactly the same film,
A reboot.
but in India and based in Mumbai. And this was filmed in Pune, which is about 2.5 hours drive from Mumbai. So I have a fight scene against the big star on the rooftop. I play a special forces guy, and he kicks me off the building, and I fall off the building. That was very, very, very scary for me because it was very high. Health and safety measures, they were not consistently good at them.
Yeah, of course.
So I had
I
my
think
doubts. I was quite scared, but when I finished it, I had the biggest smile on my face. I've done it. I've accomplished it. I've faced up to my fears.
I remember I had an interview with Ron Smallberg. He was talking also about working in India. He said like it was the craziest experiences he had ever witnessed. The stunt coordinators there, they don't have really a good vision about how to protect their performer, their stuntmen. Accidents happen all the time there.
Right. That was probably the most dangerous one. I mean, I got looked after really well. That was probably the most dangerous one. But I've done some stuff in Bangkok, my first film. Lots of wire work. You're probably familiar with Yuen Woo Ping. Yuen Woo Ping.
Yeah. One of the greatest choreographers in Hong Kong.
Matrix 1, 2, and 3. He did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I worked with him for 9 months across 4 different films. And his way of working is very unique, but he doesn't give much freedom to the artist. If he has an idea or a vision, he wants to make sure that you deliver exactly what he wants.
What he wants, yes.
He doesn't say, oh, maybe you can change a little bit to suit you. He doesn't do that. And I think sometimes there's a bit of danger in it because if you're not comfortable with something, then accidents happen. So quite a few times I worked with Yuen Woo Ping, I was put in dangerous situations.
Yeah, of course. That's the nature of your job. You have always to be ready for that situation. And especially in the early days, they don't care a lot about safety and all that. The opposite now. There is a huge job for stunt coordinators to make sure their stuntmen are safe.
But I think initially in my early days when I was doing the films, I wanted to do everything, and I wasn't scared of anything because I thought I'm going to volunteer to do everything because I want to work with them again. I want them to like me. I want them to give me more jobs. So I volunteered to do everything, and nothing was too scary.
That's true. He's a legend. Okay, now let's discuss some of your remarkable films. I know you've been part of many big films like Transporters 3, John Wick Chapter 3, Man of Tai Chi, Dead or Alive, Unleashed, Undisputed, and many more. Since I'm a huge fan of Jet Li, I know you worked with him in Unleashed. And of course, you've been part of the pool fight scene, which is one of the greatest fights of the movie. Of course, besides Scott Adkins, you were both in that fight scene. How do you describe your experience in the movie? And with the French crew, I know the French crew did a great job with as Luc Besson was the producer of the movie, if I'm right.
Of course, you're right. You've done your research, and very few people know that Scott was in that film. Very few people recognized him, so I'm very pleased you mentioned it. When I got the part, I was overwhelmed. For that particular role, I was very shocked. 800 people auditioned for that one part. So when I got the part, I was very happy. I was one of 800 people who got the part. The first day of the shoot, after rehearsals, we did 1 week rehearsals without Jet Li. Jet Li was not there at rehearsals.
Okay.
He would watch the tape in his room, make himself familiar with the action, and then he would come and film. The very first day of filming, Yuen Woo Ping wanted me to do a jumping sidekick to Jet Li's back. Not necessarily being Jet Li, I was very worried, thinking, if I kick him hard in the back, I'm going to injure him. So I was doing it very softly. And Yuen Woo Ping came and said to me, have you been drinking last night? And I said, why? He said, kick him hard, bit more power. So as I got more comfortable, I pulled it off, looking like it was more powerful. But no, working with Luc Besson, Europa Corporation has been a professional experience, very well organized, very well structured. Working with Jet Li, for me, it's been such a learning curve. And with Yuen Woo Ping's team, phenomenal. There was one particular scene where Jet Li runs into me and he grabbed me.
I remember that scene.
And I take him from underneath and I throw him over my shoulder. Jet Li didn't do this. His stunt double was doing this. And when his stunt double landed on the floor, he dislocated his shoulder.
Yeah.
In a way, he looked pleased. So I said, why are you so pleased? He said, I've not been home for 6 months. We were filming Matrix 2 and 3 in Australia. Then we came to do Unleashed with Jet Li. He said, I haven't seen my family for 6 months. I get to go home. And this was from one of the dangerous scenes. The whole film was phenomenal. It was such a great experience. Very well looked after by the production. The choreography team with Yun Wu Ping, he's got 15 to 20 helpers with him to make sure the whole operation runs smooth. It was a great experience that has really inspired me, motivated me to really take myself to another level.
Yeah, it's really great to work with the Hong Kong crew, European Jet Li, of course. Yeah, that's a really fabulous experience. Of course, you've been part of Transporter 3. You have a major fight with Jason Statham, who is also British. How did you prepare for this movie?
Another good question. Yeah, interestingly enough, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, Transporter 3 was shot by the same production who did Unleashed. Same production team,
yeah.
Luc Besson Europa Corporation. And both films are filmed in Paris, in France.
Yeah, I know
Both
this
films.
information. Especially the first one was very successful with a great crew like Céline Raffaelli, who was the action designer, I think, of the films, if I'm right.
Correct, yeah. Jason Statham was ever so much fun to work with. He did a bit of rehearsals with us, but not too much. And I said to him, how long have you been doing martial arts for? He said, I don't do martial arts. I've just picked it up from the movies. So this was the first time I asked him, what martial arts have you done? And I said, it's very impressive. It's very impressive the way you pull it off, because he looks very impressive when he does his moves. I injured myself quite severely on Transporter 3. In fact, on the last day of filming, because you warm up, cool down, your muscles go through quite severe punishment. And I tore my hamstring on my left leg. So they gave me some powerful drugs to finish off filming. But they said to me, would you like us to give you a stunt double? And I said, no, I want to finish the fight myself. So the last day of filming was quite challenging. But it took me 1.5 years for my hamstring to recover from the injury from Transporter 3.
Yeah, that's another issue that a screen performer always have to face, the injuries. It could affect their career. And Dead or Alive was one of your remarkable films, which is released back in 2006. You did play, I think, Leon, who's a mercenary villain in the movie. Do you enjoy playing villain roles often?
It's really funny, but all my American roles tend to be villains. All my British roles, I play a hero. Although last year, I played two villain roles in US, but I played one hero role in US as well. I think the villain roles are more fun to play because you don't have to think too much about winning the hearts of the audience. So I guess that easier roles to play. Dead or Alive was a lot of fun. I spent 3 months in China, traveling from Guilin, south of China, to Shanghai, Hengdian, Beijing. Traveled all over China over a course of 3 months filming. We filmed in Hengdian studios, which are north of China, which are bigger than Hollywood studios. I mean, they're absolutely massive.
Massive, yeah.
And I became close friends with Eric Roberts, who really inspired me in his film Best of the Best. Best of the Best was done a number of years before. I was a child, only probably a green belt in Taekwondo. And when I watched that film, it really inspired me to a totally another level. So for me to have the opportunity to work with Eric Roberts was phenomenal. But then the whole other cast, from Jamie Presley, Evan Deoki, nice to work with him as well. But it was a fun experience. We all had to train every day to stay in good shape. So the wake up was, you wake up in the morning, you do your martial arts training, you have your breakfast, you go filming every single day. But I was in charge of training them in the gym. Every day I trained everyone in the gym.
Yeah, that's really great. And I can see that you have gained a lot of experience through the years since I think your early career in 2000s, like 24 years now of working in movie business. you gathered a lot of experience from everyone, I think. And one question: did you direct any movies? I mean, as a
I
director?
haven't. I've choreographed movies. I've done the action choreography, which I was very, very happy to do. I have not directed the film yet, but I hope to be within the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
But
see that.
I think it's just a natural evolution. You know, you get the experience, you try something bigger, you get the experience,
Yeah,
you expand, you grow, you try bigger and better things.
yeah, and so on. Yes, of course, that's important. And I know you did work in Man of Tai Chi besides Keanu Reeves and Tiger Chen. What could you tell about your experience in this movie?
I remember still vividly when Keanu Reeves, he phoned me up on Zoom and he appeared on my laptop, and I was really starstruck. I've been a big fan of Keanu Reeves for many, many years. And he said, why didn't you come over to China 1 week early to acclimatize so you don't feel jet lagged? But that was the biggest problem I had. I couldn't sleep when I got to China. I was jet lagged for about 2 weeks. And
Ah, yeah.
I'm going to tell you a funny story now. This is probably one of the funniest stories I have from film sets. I fell asleep on film set during the fight. Uh, Tiger Chan is on top of me, he's hitting me like this. I'm on the floor. I'm lying on the floor, so he's hitting me. And in between takes, we wait sometimes for 5 minutes, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. So I'm lying on the floor. Tiger Chan is on top of me, hitting me. So after about 2 or 3 minutes, I was waiting for them to load up the cameras. I fell asleep. I was like, and I had to pretend that something was stuck in my throat. But I really struggled, even though I got to China 1 week before the shoot. I struggled sleeping. My sleep patterns were very much disrupted. So there was one of those things. It was very short. So I love sharing this experience with other people. But I was most impressed with Keanu Reeves. What a nice human being he is.
Ben, yes, he's very kind. He's
Very
very
kind,
humble.
very thoughtful, very, very well put together person. We'd be on a film set where you've got 150 people running around. One person is taking care of your wardrobe, one is doing your makeup, one is bringing your drinks and water. Keanu came along and he brought a chair. And the chair said Keanu Reeves on it. He said to me, take a seat. I said, I can't sit on that chair. He said, why not? I said, he's got your name on it. He said, when Keanu Reeves tells you to sit on his chair, you sit on his chair. He's just a very, very kind person. And because this was his debut film, the first film he directed, he took a lot of time.
Ah, yes.
A lot of time.
Math.
He paid attention. He would shoot different angles, different speeds to make sure he gets it right. He paid more attention to each scene than anyone I'd met before. But maybe that's because that was his first film. He really wanted to make sure it's spot on. He covers all the angles.
And it is a martial art movie. You know, Keanu Reeves directing like a martial art movie. I think he is a huge fan of martial art, and of course, he's a jiu-jitsu expert, if I'm right.
He is, yes, he is. I mean, after Matrix films have been so successful, he took up martial arts, in particular jiu-jitsu. But one thing I'm going to say to you, which is quite freakish, you mentioned Unleashed and you mentioned Man of Tai Chi. I played characters in both films. The storyline is so similar. Incredibly similar.
Yeah.
You look at the stories, and even my character, they're fighting in the pool. Same story.
Yeah. I really didn't pay attention to that. I have seen
Tiger
Man of Tai Chi
Chan
long
is
ago.
supposed to kill me in the ring. That's when Keanu Reeves gets paid. She doesn't want to kill me, so Keanu Reeves comes down, he breaks my neck. In Unleashed, Jet Li's supposed to kill me, but he doesn't want to kill me. So Bob Hoskins takes a gun out and he shoots me. So the stories are very, very similar. Even the setting, very similar story.
I see now. That's a new information for me, which will make me watch the movies once again to make the similarities to
absolutely,
to know about that. Did you perform any kind of films like drama, horror, not an action movie?
Yes. I've done a horror film. One of my first films was Lex was Canadian sci-fi series that was shot in Caribbean, Canadian sci-fi series. So there was a horror film. I did a bit of a comedy sketch as well. What else have I done? I've done a few other things which were not related to martial arts. Nothing whatsoever. And it was fun for me because it challenged me in a different way. It got me outside my comfort zone. It got me outside of my domain. So I thought this is a good opportunity for me to grow, expand in other areas apart from the martial arts, because you can easily, as an actor, get stereotyped. Everybody wants to give you the same roles as playing a bad guy, playing a villain, so it was really nice for me to experience playing other roles and offer myself other challenges in the process.
That's true. And since you mentioned challenges, are you someone who can improvise fight scenes on set? I mean, without any previous, I mean, if you understand my question.
Absolutely, and I love it. I love him. I'll tell you why I love improvising is I'm a big fan of Jackie Chan, and if you watch Jackie Chan, he uses his environment to his advantage. So you will turn up on set, you look around, okay, there's a chair there. I can use the chair as a weapon. There's a table there. I can see a bottle on the floor. So I like to do the same thing. I like to turn up on set and think, what can I use for the fight, apart from my hands and my feet, to make it a bit more natural, make it a bit more natural, a bit more believable than just using the hands and feet. So it's not just a fight, it's about the environment that you're in. So for sure, I love to improvise the fight scenes and choreograph as it is on set. I've changed things around last minute as well. It's exciting because when you turn up on set, you may realize the person is too tall, or maybe the person is injured or likes to use something that's not been used before, or you can see a broken bottle on the floor, or something they can use for a fight, which makes it exciting. So yes, improvising is always good.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and it has something special, I think. Yeah,
for sure.
And of course, what was the most physically demanding role you have ever prepared for?
You know what? The most physically demanding role, it's a good question you've asked me, is not even a film. I was participating in Italian Dancing with Stars. It's a dancing show. I don't know if you have it. It's a dancing show, Dancing with Stars. You have to practice
what's
dancing.
The name of this show to let me take a look and have an idea about it?
I did it in Italy. In England, it's called the Dancing with Stars.
Okay. Yeah.
So ordinary people dance with celebrities. Sorry, the dance teachers teach the celebrities how to dance.
To dance,
and they compete in dancing for 3 months. I did it in Italy. In Italy, it was called Ballando con le Stelle. Ballando con le Stelle in Italy. So this was exactly 10 years ago. That was by far the most challenging thing I did. It was so hard. I did 5-6 hours of dancing a day. And I was fighting in Taekwondo World Championships. This was harder because it was something I wasn't used to. I was breaking apart. I almost cried. It was hard. Very, very hard.
Yeah, it's really funny because I imagined that you could mention like English, some kind of huge movie. Then you said dancing. That's really,
you know what?
I think it's also demanding, I think.
Very. I lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight on the show.
Okay.
I was injured. It was hard. It was very physically demanding. But I guess the reason it was hard because martial arts are in my blood. Martial arts in my blood. I've been practicing martial arts since I was a kid. So anything I do, I'll find easy. Dancing, I didn't know what to do. It was very new to me. So that's why it was probably even harder, more challenging.
You have to practice, and of course, that's true. And can you mention any memorable behind-the-scenes moment from a film in a martial art movie with someone? I mean, with some other actors or something funny happened to you?
There was a particular scene in Unleashed with Jet Li. There was a bit where he jumps on my back and he tries to strangle me. So this would take maybe an hour and a half to film this scene. He's on my back. I'm trying to get him off. And Yuen Woo Ping said, okay, time to fight. and gently went to kiss my neck, and he said, "We don't want to fight." He said, "We don't want to fight. We're friends."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Well, you know what? On film
that,
sets, you have lots of fun. You work really hard. You work very long hours, but you make some good relationships with like-minded people,
of course.
and you have fun. If you do something you really enjoy, you want to make sure you have fun with it. And I
That's
do a
true.
job I've got so much passion for. I love what I do. So naturally, when I'm on film set, I want to have fun. I want to have fun anytime I can. Being professional, obviously, maintain your professional ways. Make sure you get the job done, but have fun with it.
That's true. That's really, I really admire the movie business and how fun it is and the passion and what's going on the sets. It's really one of the most beautiful jobs. I would love to make some of my own.
You know, what I find most impressive is movie making is collaboration of many, 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 many different talented people in different areas, from sounds to music to makeup to
Yeah,
choreography to director of photography. So many people come together
there, yes,
to make this incredible masterpiece. So
they
everything is
combine
fully,
their skills together to come up with masterpieces and something like that.
absolutely, 5, 6, 7 months, however long it takes to make this masterpiece. But you think how many hours of hard work from so many different people went into it. That's incredible. That synergy that works between the people.
Yeah, and it's a tradition in my show to discuss some iconic martial art movies. And since I know you were influenced by Jean-Claude Van Damme back in the days, is that true? Were you influenced by
Of
Jean-Claude
course,
Van Damme?
absolutely. I mean, his early films from Bloodsport, Kickboxer were mind blowing. They had mind blowing impact on my career and me taking up martial arts and the way I trained. 100%. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Sylvester Stallone, Steven Seagal,
Yeah,
and then
that's
afterwards, I think one person that really did raise the bar was Tony Jaa, on Buck, and then
yeah,
Scott.
on go back.
But you know what is with humans? When we see something for the first time, we get very impressed. But after a while, we get used to it. It gets a little bit boring.
That's true.
When
Yeah,
someone comes up with something new that we've never seen before, it blows you away. It blows you away.
indeed.
Like Matrix, for example. When Matrix came along, I remember watching the techniques they used in the film and have never been used before. So when I watched it, wow, it was mind blowing. And then we wait for the next one to raise the bar, make something different, make something better. For sure, my early influences have been Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce
Van
Lee
Damme, yeah.
before that, Steven Seagal, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and then afterwards would be some of the other guys like Tony Jaa.
Yeah, Tony Jaa, I'm a huge fan of him, of course. He came up with something new in 2003, combining Muay Thai with acrobatics and stunts, and no wire full, no special effects. It's all what you see there. That's what people really admire about Tony Jaa back in the days.
You know, nowadays we've got technology to do everything on computers, CGI. You can do
Yeah,
computer graphics and make a cartoon. You can tell it's very different. If it's not authentic, I'm not going to buy into it. And I think as someone who's trained very hard in martial arts, I understand the difficulty and the hours that you need to spend to practice to master it. So if I watch someone like Tony Jaa with the skill, I'm ever so respectful and thinking, wow, that was amazing. Far, far more than if I watch CGI. CGI is not very impressive, and you can tell if it's CGI. When someone does genuinely execute the movements through hard work, then I've got a lot more admiration and respect for it.
and that's true. And since I started this conversation about Van Damme, what was your favorite movie of Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Oh,
Which influenced you the most?
Bloodsport. Bloodsport has to be the first one. Bloodsport, and then afterwards I would say Kickboxer.
Kickboxer, yeah.
Bloodsport, no doubt, especially because at the time we believed that Bloodsport was based on a true events, on true story.
Okay. Yeah, I never know that. First time I know about this information.
Well, it was, but then it was found that it was not so true. So no,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure to work with Sheldon Lettich, who directed Bloodsport. I worked with him last year on a production called The Warrior Island, which was filmed in New Jersey. And I'll be working with him again this year. He's an absolute legend.
I'm looking forward to see that, of course, brother. And let's talk now about AI issues. I know you know what's going on in the US now with all the SAG-AFTRA strikes and stunt community, the movie makers there about the AI technologies that might exclude a lot of movie workers from business. In the near future, of course, how AI could affect jobs in movie business?
I think by the looks of it, AI is going to affect jobs in all industries. And to an extent, I understand it. Movie making is about making money, and movie makers will replace eventually the stunt guys, the actors with AI. This is the natural process of our evolution, and AI is going to replace many other jobs, not just in the film industry. I think it's just a natural process. It's very sad. It's very sad, but we are replaceable. We are replaceable with AI. We've seen some phenomenal advancements in AI technology. So I think it's a natural evolution, and it's inevitable. It will happen.
It will happen. It's a matter of time, of course. Can you imagine now AI like 10 years from now or 20 years from now? It's all crazy.
I was discussing this with someone recently. I think 10, 15, 20 years from now, you'll be able to direct the film in real time. So you're watching the film and you can decide what happens, what the ending is going to be, which way it goes.
Yeah.
And AI will be making movie in the real time as we're watching it.
Of course. Yes, that's really crazy.
The processes will be so much faster and more powerful. They will be making movies in real time as you're watching it. And you can determine which way it ends, if it ends in a good way or a bad way. Or
That's true. It's really crazy, and really hope to see more actors doing that, because
yeah. But you know what? I think what they're going to be doing is they're going to buy rights. Let's say Leonardo DiCaprio, we're going to buy copyrights to use your image, and we're going to make movies with AI with your image, but you don't have to act. So you're going to get paid to use the image. They're going to produce you with AI. It's going to be much cheaper to make long term.
That's true. Yeah. And of course, let's go back to talk about yourself. What do you prefer to do between jobs?
In terms of what you mean, teaching martial arts or being on film set?
I mean, if you finish like a kind of filming and come back home, what do you prefer to do?
I enjoy both. I think that they work really well hand in hand with each other. And I'm very lucky in the sense that if I get a little bit bored and still at one, I can go and do something else. I feel very lucky to be doing what I'm doing. So I don't really have a preference. I love both of them. And I think the two sides of the same coin. That's why I've got the same passion for both industries, both jobs.
Yeah, that's really cool. Tell me, Silvio, how do you see yourself like 10 years from now in movie business, in martial art?
I said, my best friend said to me recently, very few days ago, said, where do you see yourself in 4 or 5 years? I said to him, I am in such a good place right now. If I was in the same place now that I'm in 10 years, I'll be very happy, because I'm in a very good place right now. My career is very good. Last year, I shot 5 films. I don't want to be dreaming of I don't want to be making 15 films. I like the balance I have. As a martial artist, I do believe in balance. If I was to go and make 15 films a year, I would neglect my health. I would neglect my family to get there. And I don't want to do that. I want to maintain a good balance in my life. Everything in life, if you strive for too much of one, you're going to compensate. You're going to lose something else, sacrifice something else. So I'm always striving for balance. I hope that I am in good health and my career-wise in 10, 15 years as I am now. We discussed earlier on, I would also like to direct my own films. So that's going to be my next step. And I've got some books in the pipeline I would like to release in the process.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see your work. And I have been following you for many years, and for more years in the future again. And
thank you.
To see your first movie as a director, I mean, and I prefer to be an action movie, a martial art movie
it will
of
be
your own.
100%. 100%. I think directing is a natural evolution for me because I've picked up a lot of experience along the way. I've learned from my mistakes. I've learned from other people's mistakes. So maybe this is good time for me to put my own visions and my own ways onto the big silver screen before AI take over.
That's true. Yeah, it's really coming. It's inevitable, of course. And I know you practice meditation. I'm not so familiar with meditation and its use. Could you give me some glimpse about meditation benefits and how it is done?
Wow, you've clearly done some good research. I've been practicing meditation. I've been practicing meditation for well over 18 years now. There was a stage of my life I used to meditate every day for about 2 hours. I don't do as much now. But in January this year, I went off to Thailand. I went to a meditation retreat. And for 8 days, we couldn't speak to each other. No mobile phones. You could not use your mobile phone. No meat, just vegetarian food. It was pure cleansing. So you would cleanse your body, cleanse your mind, and meditate for about 9 hours a day. For 9 hours a day. I think, especially in the Western society, Western culture, our minds are too fragmented. So many different directions. There's too much scrolling on the phone. We never focus on one thing truly. And that's why we get too much of a unsettled soul as well as our mind. So meditation is something that restores balance within ourselves, as well as good health, dissolves problems and issues that we may have psychologically within ourselves. And I think much of the mental health issues that people experience nowadays, and we are, I'd say, brink of we've got very, very high mental health issues worldwide now. Why? Because our mind is being too fragmented into so many different directions. Naturally, we suffer mental health issues.
Yeah.
So
indeed,
meditation restores that calmness, restores the stillness. When you normally live your life, when you're too busy, you may have a blurry vision. You may not be seeing the right. When you meditate, it clears everything up and makes you realize the importance of life, what is important and what isn't, and slows everything down, puts everything into perspective. And there's something I've also learned when I was meditating in Thailand in January this year, and this was 9 hours a day. You find this stillness and inner peace, which I would not compare to anything else.
indeed. I really would like to try that. I never do that, but yeah, I will do some research to do it. At least like 10 minutes or half an hour every day.
Let me tell you one thing. When I was in Thailand, I did, as I said, 9 hours a day. For first 3 days, I felt nothing. My back was hurting, my knees were hurting. I was bored, I was sweating. Day 4, some magical thing happened. And I remember I closed my eyes. I had my eyes closed for 1 hour 20. 1 hour 20. When I opened my eyes, they told me to open my eyes. It seemed like I was there for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah. The concept of time was just disappeared. And I felt this feeling of stillness and calmness and inner peace.
Okay, thank you, brother, for all the information. It was insightful and really informative. One final question, of course. Your long journey was full of achievement, and of course, those achievements didn't come out just like that. There have been a lot of practice, takes, processing, training, failure, repetitions. This diverse journey made you what you are now. What advices do you have for beginners or anyone desires to get into movie business or into martial arts in general?
First of all, I have to say, I love the way you've done so much research into everything today, and your questions have been absolutely wonderful.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
The reason I say it's a good question is because I teach my martial arts students all the time about failures, and failure is inevitable in life. You're going to fail thousands and thousands of times, but defeat is optional. You're going to fail many times. Pick yourself up, dust yourself up, keep moving forwards. If you want to achieve your goals, you are going to get knocked down. Don't get emotionally bothered. Don't get emotionally drained because of it. Pick yourself up and keep moving forward. I always say to people, the bigger your why, the easier will be the how. So find a purpose in life. Find a purpose that's going to keep you strong, because if you have a strong purpose, nothing's going to stop you. So I always say to people when they come to my class, I say to them, why are you here? Because if the reason is big, if they say to me, look, I'm here because if I don't train martial arts, I will die in 6 months, their purpose is big. They're going to make their journey so successful, because if they don't, they're going to die. So find the purpose. The bigger your purpose, the easier the journey. So I always say to people, whatever journey you're making, find a purpose, find a big reason, big purpose. I love this so much that I couldn't do anything else. This is a big purpose. That's why we say, when you do something for your family, for your loved one, for your son, for your daughter, for your mother, for your wife, the purpose is big. And that's why you become very strong. You become invincible. So whatever you do in life, find a big purpose. And you're going to be unstoppable.
Yes. That's the key to live and to survive in this world. You see, as it is difficult, it is getting difficult every time, every year. And it is getting tough, and a lot of depression, a lot of mental issues.
Of course.
Yeah, it's always to find, I think, the purpose to live and to enjoy life.
For sure. I mean, when I started acting, I was working full-time before that, and I gave up my job straight away. And my father said, why are you giving up your job? I said, because I have to succeed in acting. Failure is not an option. I don't want to have a job to think, oh, if I fail in acting, I've got a job to do. No, I wanted to give up my job, so I have to succeed in acting. I had no choice to fail because I had no job. If I had a job, I would have thought, I've got a job. I can fail. Doesn't matter. I have a job to go back to. So I gave up my job to make sure that I have to succeed. So find a big purpose.
That's true, brother. Thank you a lot for your advices and
welcome.
Vision, your philosophy, everything you shared with the audience. And thank you for being guest on Indie Talks. It was a great honor, brother. And I really appreciate making time for this. And thanks a lot.
Very
Merci
welcome.
beaucoup.
Very welcome. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Have a nice day, brother. Thank
All
you.
the best.
See you.
Thank you.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good day. Thank you.